Yeah, up in the building. Check, check. Testing, 1, 2. Harris is Drinking Again Pubcast, episode 109. Feeling fine. That's right. "109 weeks in a row. Ready to go up in the building." Apologize for the late start. My kid had a basketball game from 7 to 8. I couldn't miss it. So I'm just getting home, just getting set up. I was already set up, but I'm just getting home. We just getting in the building. Got to go into another shift tonight. So it's probably going to be a quick show, about an hour. I always say that, but you know, I'm going to come bring it to you for 60 minutes consistently, how we do, baby. Harris is Drinking Again Pubcast. Check out the pub on Spotify, Apple, all streaming platforms. And also every Saturday and Sunday night on WDJYFM.com, baby. Let's go. Harry's drinking again. I'm not even drinking tonight. I drank a little bit last night. Had a little sip this morning. Yes. Back up in the building, baby. Tonight's show, once again, sponsored by Gubba Rum. Visit GubbaRum.com to find out where you can get your very own bottle of Gubba Gold or a Gubba Silver. Very delicious rum. Yeah, Harris Drinking Again Pubcast, baby. Therapy Night Rants. Shout out to the Podbean, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, up in the building tonight. And let's see. Tonight's topic was a last-minute topic. You know, just it's going to be a solo show, by the way. I'm not sending any links out or anything. You know, we got growing up biracial, being a mixed breed. What else I put up in this bitch? Racism. I forget my own title, y'all. Sorry. I hate getting these racism and not liking white rappers. I'm going to do just a quick rant tonight on those topics. Give a little bit of my story about being a black and a white guy, an Oreo, a mulatto. That's right, baby. A mixed breed. Not black enough for the black motherfuckers, but you're too black to hang out with the white motherfuckers. Yeah. This would have been a good topic to get my brother on, but we'll have to double back to this one. Also, we're going to be playing Chino Boy's Kiss the Bottle. I haven't played that in a few weeks. And talk about a little bit of comedy and maybe even a little bit of the NBA All-Star game. I actually didn't watch it, but covering a little bit of those topics. And I have a couple of statistics pulled up here from the U.S. Census Bureau about biracial people and interesting stuff. So strap on your seatbelt, pour up a drink, roll you up something, get into your zone as we rock with Harry Too Scary for the 109th edition, baby. That's right. Shout out Beeline up in the building. Yes. Salute. Yeah. I hate starting my show after 8. I just hate it. I hate it so much because I get out of my rhythm a little bit, my routine. And the later shows usually don't have the best numbers, but it is what it is, man. Through all odds, this is the last week that I'll actually have to go in to work after the show. So I'm looking forward to that next week. Start to mellow out a little bit. And I should be able to put in some more footwork on the channel, reels and stuff. I just hate social media. And I have probably 200-300 reels I could just fire off every day. Boom, 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 not miss a beat. But I just don't want to. Okay? I try to stay away from that social media shit. I just go in there, post, check, do what I do. But I am excited that last week. Anyway, let's get into it. Growing up biracial. And this was actually stemmed just from shout out to C.A. Knuble, a Facebook post or something I commented on. They're like, well, what comedians don't you like or whatever? And I was like, pretty much all white comedians, even Gary Owens. And she was like, I'll pretend not to see that. But I got to thinking, and I'm like, that's very interesting because I can't really name any white comedians that I think are funny. George Carlin is a legend, but I look at him as more of a truth seeker than like a natural comic. And so I figured, what the hell? And tell a couple of stories of when I battled true racism. Now let me just get into this now. Like being a mixed guy, black and white. I was adopted by white parents and or a white mother, raised by a white mom. And I've had these talks with other black people, right? Real black people, whatever that is. And there's that whole thing, a high yellow, waffle color Negro, whatever the hell. And we're outcasts. Any biracial person, whether you're like a Mexican and a Chinese or some crazy like that, I think it's natural to want to find your spot in the world. Even though I was not raised up in black culture per se, didn't have a lot of black family. I met some of my black half later in life. Some would say I was I can't even say whitewashed because still a nigga. But growing up, and this is what I like to say too, is I look at it, especially if you're a male, I look at it like, and knock on this wood right here, like if we ever go to prison or something like that, at least here on the West Coast, who are you going to run with, right? The woods ain't accepting me, and I don't want to be accepted by them. So I look at a lot of things like that. Like, even though I never plan to be in a situation like that, I claim my blackness, right? Getting pulled over, being stereotyped. Before the N-word, it was black boy. Used to call me black boy. Oh, that was some 90s shit. And so even from white people, they let white people let you know where you stand. I can walk in a room. Good. I was at a bar not too long ago, and They were talking about football or something, Black Lives Matter or whatever, and the dude said something, and out of my peripheral, I could see him like look at me to like, oh shit, you know what I mean? And I just looked over. I was like, no, I agree with you, man. Fuck Black Lives Matter. That's some bullshit. And so, but off the top, like they let you know that you're not one of them, right? Whether it's inside jokes or people get quiet when you come in the room, etc. And obviously, my image, I could fit in with Mexicans, Tongans. I grow my hair out, look damn Tongan or Samoan, whatever. People, are you Puerto Rican? Are you Dominican? Are you, I even get a lot of people that be like, you don't look black at all. And I'm like, oh, thank you, cool. But I know, even though I'm half white, you do not view me as a white person. I got this little, coarse hair, and I can stick a pick in my shit. So since I was a little boy, I've always gone to the black side, right? Now, let's break this down though. If you go by I think it's the Hebrews that say, and I could be mistaken, there's a faction of the religion to where whatever the womb is, if you're birthed from a white womb, you're a white person. And then I believe there's another faction that's like, no, it's the seed. You know what I'm saying? If you got a black father, you're black, right? But there's different levels to this, and in society and everything. People like to put spins on it, whatnot. I can just say for myself, and this is without meeting I've never met my birth father. I allegedly did. I'm not, claiming or whatever. But since I was a little boy, just based on I'm tall, I'm big, 6'2", whatever. I was always, every time I look in the mirror, I'm like, damn, like who's my dad, right? Like that's what I always wanted to know. Maybe it was being raised by a white mother, even though she wasn't my biological. I never had questions about the white side, right? I get all the gifts, right, from the melanin. Good, the sports, the athleticism, my rhythm. And so I've always been attracted to that side. As for, I think, most biracial kids or adults or what have you, especially in the hip hop era, growing up in the late 90s and the 2000s, you just kind of, you pick up this natural swag, this natural mojo about yourself, right? But white folks in general, and I love white people too, and I do play the race card. I've been the recipient of hanging around with too many dark skinned motherfuckers, and I'm the one who gets let off the loose. You know what I'm saying? Because I got that shade, right? I've also been with some white boys. They got arrested, and I've been let go. So I ain't gonna sit here in front and just be like, oh, no. I was raised how I was raised. Definitely around Caucasians my whole life, and Mexicans, and that's the part where, as a biracial person, we're like chameleons. We can fit in with anybody. Most of my homeboys are Mexican. I love the Mexican community. I love Mexican women, the food. But just in general, I really vibe with like brown people, right? Growing up, my mother didn't cook with no spices. Salt and pepper was like the seasoning, right? Luckily, I got them natural taste buds. I want all the seasonings, garlic powder, onion powder, it's just everything. Spicy food. I got mad rhythm. And And so I guess I've always looking or looked at that as being a product of having that some melanin in me, right? And I've navigated to that more, you know. Even right now, looking in the screen, I'm half white, baby, but there's nothing that the police pull me over. They ain't saying I'm a white male. One time in Vegas, I actually got they put a Hispanic on my paperwork when I got arrested on a little failure to appear, and they take me into the booking. I was in the Las Vegas booking, and even the officer was like, called me my last name, Harris. He's like, "You speak English?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I speak English, man." Oh, it says here you're Hispanic. I was like, I was just looking at him like, yeah, I'm mixed, you know. And so I know where I stand amongst white culture, right? I've never been a type of cat that wants to fit in. I'm definitely a running rebel and an outcast. But there was a time when I met some of my blacker family, right? Shout out to Trey, Truck Stop, and everything. And you're still in that in between because I'm not hood enough, or my slang isn't, where it should be. I actually can read, I'm a good reader, decent pronunciation and stuff like that, right? Not to say that black people don't have that. A lot of them are. But when you talk about your typical, I guess, black street American, I would be out shunned by them. You grew up with a white mom. You ain't black. Yeah, and which is fine. I'm at this point in my life, and that's why I wanted to kind of bring this up to where it's like anybody who's mixed or blended or whatever you want to call it. I'm sure we have those struggles to where, damn, I don't fit in over here, but I don't really fit in over here. I'm fucking lost. And I went through some of those times. But growing up now, full circle into adulthood, I embrace it. I embrace both sides. But I know, deep down, I'm an other or a black man. And there's a lot of black people that would, nah, you ain't. Which brings up the question, of course, black and white are just constructs. They were created, that's some bullshit. You're either African, you're Caucasian, you're a Caucasoid, you're, English, Scottish, right? But here in America, we use these terms to separate and divide. And it's all good. I don't know, maybe about 2000, West Windover. I was living in the Buena Vistas, and we'd all be playing outside. I had poofy hair, fat kid, and I was running around. There was this cool ass brother, man, dark ass brother, bald head, smooth brother, and he was with a white chick. They live in the corner, and he'd be out there like smoking, whatever, barbecuing, and we see all the kids playing, but he took it like an affinity to me, and called me over one day and asked me, what's your name, man? Because I was the only black kid out there, right, running around, but I'm fitting in with all these Mexicans and stuff. And I remember him telling me, this is about 20 years ago. He's like, man, look out here. He's like, in 20 years from now, all the kids gonna look like you, bro. He's like, and that's what the first time that I heard the and I don't have this one pulled up, but we'll get to it. But there's something called I forget the damn term, but to where in what do they say, in another 20, 30, 40 years, there won't even be like a white race or something, supposed to be like they'll be the minority, like very, very small, because everyone's, all the ladies is, getting dicked down by others. And I remember him telling me that, and maybe about 10 years ago, I started to see it. Of course, the whole light skin takeover, Barack, Drake, Steph Curry, Patrick Mahomes, all these cats, Zach LaVine, you know what I mean? And in the media, they get labeled as black men. Even, Colin Kaepernick grew up, similar to me, white parents, decent household, but he gets labeled the black man. And he really wanted to navigate towards that when he did his whole kneeling stuff, right? And then half of America hates him. What are you going to do? But I did watch his documentary, Calling in Black and White, and it was cool. I don't think I even finished it, but I got through most of it. Like when he wanted his hair braided, and what was it? His baseball coach or something was telling him, like, you need to cut your hair. Things like that. I can remember being at like family reunions with some of my Caucasian family, and I was the only kid that would like listen to rap music. I had West Side Connection in my CD player, and I remember always like, and I'm not gonna lie, like I kind of put on extra too. Like I'd bob my head a little extra, to let people understand that I'm feeling this way, like this is me. I don't really mess with y'all. I don't listen to rock. I didn't grow up listening to like this stuff, right? That most white families do. And I'm an only child, so I didn't have that whole influence. It was just me and my mom's, and I'm out running around. And but I went through certain things like that. I remember the first time when a parent of one of the kids in the neighborhood said, "Hey," he told him, "Hey, get over here. Quit playing with that Brillo pad." He was talking about me, Brillo pad, the hair. He literally said, "Quit playing with that Brillo pad." And I swear to God, it took me years to even put that together. Never heard that term before. And so from the jump, the world lets you know who you are, or and I think I take that on even more. Like, all right, cool, shit, yeah, I'm Brillo pad, shit, yeah, I got poofy hair, yeah, I like braids, rap music, whatever. Now, it's sad too that here in America, like, black culture that's all we think of, right? Pimps, ball players, rappers. That's by design for sure. The way they made it. Black's negative, it's dark, right? White is pure, purity, angel-like. Now, when it comes to some of my Mexican partners, right? They don't give a damn. We don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I'll befriend anybody. I've had friends of all sorts of people, right? But I'm gonna say mostly, I guess, here on the West Coast, there is, this black versus brown thing. Even though we're the same fucking people, go through the same shit. I love Chicano rap music and everything, but it's just a theory of mine that perhaps if I would have been a tad darker, or a 100% black American, that they might not have befriended me, or their parents might not have opened their arms, opened their doors as much. That's just a theory I have. because I got the light shade, I can fit in. And then they might think, oh yeah, I'm Dominican or I'm Puerto Rican and stuff, right? So I've always used that to my benefit too. Now, I love all my brothers regardless. That don't matter what you are. Shout out to Mike, White Boy, Fernie, Jake, everybody, man. I had a Portuguese, one of my best friends when I was about 8-9 years old. Used to befriended this Indian kid, even though I really don't like Indian accents. It just gets on my nerve. Like I couldn't be around a bunch of them, just like listening to their dialect for too long. It just fucking drives me crazy. But it's nothing against them. It's just an actual the way the rhythm hits me, of their language and stuff. And there's other ones too. There's other people out there that I'm not fond of, right? But no hate in my heart or anything like that. But yeah, there's a theory that had I would have been a darker color or a full black guy, I would have had a rougher time for sure. I do believe that. The black man's the most copied man and the most hated man in America, has been. But and like what's his name? Shout out, rest in peace, Paul Mooney. Everybody want to be a nigga until it's time to be a nigga. You know what I mean? I've never honestly felt like that. If anything, I'm kind of envious that I'm mixed. Like I would love to die and come back a black man and live the true black struggle and all that black pride and stuff. And I do have that, right? But I've been thinking lately, like, because when people ask me like, oh, like, what are you? I was like, I'm an Oreo. That's what I tell people, like, or I say I'm mixed breed, or black. But like no one's ever asked me like, oh, like, what nationality are you? Or of course American, but like I've never just said, oh, I'm white, except one time to the police. When I first moved to Ogden, Utah, I didn't want to be in the system as a black guy. I said, and even the cop, he kind of looked at me like, oh no, I'm white, officer. And that was just in my crazy head in case I got pulled over or something. I don't know. I didn't want them to fuck with me just based off, oh, there's a new black guy in town, so I put white down. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I play the race card. I'm a fence sitter in that regard. And a lot of straight race people or single race, I think they get mad about that because, I can get in where I fit in, man. Went down to Mexico, see my homeboy Fernie. It was no problem, A couple of them, they could tell you're a gringo. And I thought a gringo was just a white person. A gringo was just American. They were telling me like, nah, you could be black, you could be Chinese. If you're not from Mexico, we're going to call you a gringo. And I said, oh, okay, cool. And other people have told me that, like, yeah, man, you could go wherever and just like fit in. You're not going to like stand out like crazy. So I use that to my benefit. I do. And I think a lot of the straight race people, they don't like that. Or they wish that they could, have like a little card in their back pocket. You know what I mean? Pull it out when you need to be. Oh, yeah. My brother Trey, when I met him, and Chase, and my sister Channing, we're all mixed too. Except they grew up with their black father. So they got more, I would say, more of the black culture in them. They grew up eating soul food and black aunties and black uncles. Me, not so much. I grew up, just pretty much bland food, kind of, we wasn't playing no Marvin Gaye in the house. I had to go find that stuff out on my own, And as a young man, when you're finding your way in the world, teens, adolescence, and everything, I think that's natural, you know, to want to go out and seek what you feel like you are more. And I would have talks with him like, man, he was kind of jealous of me because I grew up with a mom. He didn't have a mom. She abandoned them, us, whatever. And I would always tell him, I said, man, shit, man, I would love to grow up with a black daddy, bro. Like, you got the best shit. And so I guess it just depends on how you look at it. Overall, just be happy with yourself, you know, in general. And I'm kind of, you know, mixed in that regards too. Is I went through some self-hatred when I was younger. And it wasn't even a color thing, though. That was really just a spiritual, you know, inner turmoil. Not having no foundation in general to who you're from. You know, I don't know what to tell my son. I don't know if my biological parents, I know my mom, she has the drug problems and stuff. That's where I get all that shit from. But I don't know about no high blood pressure or what runs in that side of the family. I have no idea. You know, I don't know if I'm gonna get dementia and shit when I'm 50 or whatever the hell. As I get older, I wish I knew that stuff. You know, I'm completely content with who I am. I love me some me. I love me some me. T.O. But I do wish that I had more of a knowledge, you know, of like the health conditions and, you know what I mean? If anybody in my bloodline did some great shit, I would never know. Now what I was told was, I think I got about maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 other half siblings out there in the world somewhere. But I'll never know. And I remember too, Elko, Nevada, young boy, sometimes, and this was probably, you know, it was less rare than what you see nowadays. Nowadays, it's nothing to see, you know, blended families everywhere. But I remember being in the grocery store, and there was this lady just like looking at me and my mom. And my mom said something to her like, whatever, you have a staring problem or whatever. And she was like, is that your son? And my mom was just like, yeah, that's my son. Like, you know, she claimed me 100%, right? You know, Dr. Mom. And even at that young age, I started to like formulate like, damn, like I'm really different and shit. And I do remember one time when we were talking about the self-hate stuff, I came home because I was getting made fun of. They called me black boy or whatever. And I remember telling my mom that I wanted to pour bleach on my skin. This was before the Michael Jackson or anything. I didn't know about bleaching, right? I just know the bleach turns shit white. And I do remember about maybe 8, 9, telling my mom, like, I just want to pour bleach on my skin and be a white person, right? Of course, now that's ludicrous. That's ridiculous. If anything, I want to get darker. Shit, motherfucker. But and you know, she you know, she consoled me or whatever. And just told me, you know, Cody, man, just be proud of yourself. Like, don't ever want to do nothing to change who you are, who God made you. You know, He makes everybody different and wonderful. And so she told me that, you know, and I took that with me. And then, you know, through the couple years, it's like, oh yeah, you know, that's who I am, man. But there was that one instance when I was a kid, man, because I just didn't get it, you know. I always felt my best friend Kendall Lewis, like white kid, fucking love that guy. Where are you at in the world today, Kendall? I don't know. Shout out to you, man. Chance Armis, you know, it was just kids in the neighborhood, Kids in the neighborhood. It was like at school, the other kids, most of that other stuff happened. But in the neighborhood, man, we had a Tongan kid, we had a Chinese kid, everybody, you know? And when the innocence starts to peel off, you know, kids get more ruthless. Now I got a quad racial son. I'm black, he's black, white, Puerto Rican. I don't even know what the hell his mom is. She's Puerto Rican, Dominican, Mexican, whatever the hell. He's like 4 different things. Now he's a quarter black because I'm half. I've had small talks with him. Like, he knows he's not a white kid. Like, my son knows even though he's a quarter white, he's not a white kid. He doesn't get, you know, treated like a white kid or whatever, right? And me and his mom have these talks. You know, she wants him, you know, to love his heritage, and I want him to learn Spanish. I still want to learn Spanish, shit. But I do tell him, I said, you know, because he asked me one time, he's like, I'm black, huh, Dad? I said, well, yeah, you know, so you got some black in you. I said, look, man, at the end of the day, you're a brown kid. You're gonna be a brown man. I said, whatever you want to take that, you're a brown, you know, you're a brown kid. You're brown, son. You know, beautiful brown.
Hey, man.
Sorry. Get these beats, keeping these beats going. Now that you know, that's not to put anything in his head. It's just to let him know, like, first of all, he's dark. He's way dark, you know, and he has beautiful skin. And I tell him all the time, man, like, nah, bro, like, love you, like, you know, you're handsome, dude. And you know, so I don't want him to kind of have some of the worries or thoughts that I did so much. And so far he hasn't, you know, he's only 8, but I do tell him to, you know, a little bit of things. I don't, not too much, but I've, you know, when he gets older, I will let him know, man, like, hey, man, when the police stop you or something like that, like, comply, you know what I mean? Like, you got the color to be shot, you know what I mean? Or just fucked with, harassed. And so I let him know those things. And either way, you know, he loves my mom, his grandma. You know, he doesn't look at anything crazy yet. But those are some of the, I guess, difficulties I'm going to have raising a quadracial son. But I want him to be very close to his roots, his mother's side. I want him to know all his Mexican family, his Puerto Rican family, and you know, study up on your Black history, and then of course embrace your whiteness, bro. Embrace you. Just be you. You know. One time in Idaho, I came across the worst racism. I've been called, you know, an N-word like a lot of times. I used to fight over that when those were fighting words when I was a kid. Nowadays, man, I mean, I'll just look at somebody stupid if they call me a nigger or something. I'll just be like, damn, like, that just shows you your ignorance off the top, right? But I was working at this job, man, and I had a problem. I had a problem with these peckerwoods out there. Not all of them. There's only a couple of them. And we're next door to where my mom lived. And I'd just come out on the porch or whatever I was doing. And this dude just starts berating me with like all these racial shits. I work with the cat, but he was drunk. And that's why you got to drink responsibly, yo. And, you know, pulls the N-word with the hard R. I was probably like 24, 25. And that shit got me heated. You know, come on, motherfucker, come a little closer, say it to my face, dog. You know, come here. And then he kept talking shit. And I was going over there to, tussle with him or whatever, or check him. People got between us and everything. And most of his people were like, he was like the only one. He had a buddy that was kind of just talking some shit, but I could tell he didn't like me from the job. This is in Preston, Idaho. There's probably maybe 5 black families in the whole town, if that, right? And so I had to, I've went through scenarios like that, but again, I already know who I am, what I am, but it's those types of scenarios that reaffirm like your place. Like, oh, this white dude will never, he doesn't see me like him. He don't even see the half. He just sees the little dark facial hair and some tan skin, and he knows I'm not white, or in his mind or in his belief system. And so I take a lot of that for people. When people tell you who they are, you should believe them. Or when they show you their colors, you believe them. All right, cool. That's how you are. That's how you feel. Yeah, but that made me mad, especially at that time. Before I had my kid, I was still a little more reckless, a little more hot-headed. Now I just see it as complete ignorance and everything. And don't get me wrong, I've stuck up. I don't like, blatant. I like racist jokes. I have no problem with like racist jokes. I don't get offended. I got the thickest skin in the game. But I've stuck up for people when I hear one too many crackers, right? Or something like that. I'll be like, hey, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, it's my white partner right here or whatever. Like, I stuck up for everybody, man. I've had white people call my Mexican friends wetbacks and shit like that, but like belligerent. And it gets me heated the same as if they call me something. And so I believe that's how you know you got a little bit of purity in your heart. When you're willing to stick up for just people in general. Like, I'm not gonna let no fuck shit happen in front of me, or if I'm on a bus or something, or wherever I'm at in the grocery store. I mean, a woman's getting picked on, or kids, I'm gonna stand up and intervene, or at least speak my truth, in those situations. Let me type in here the definition. Definition of racism here: the belief that race accounts for differences in human character or ability, and that a particular race is superior to others. Isn't there another term for racism that just means like being proud of your actual race? I mean, the whole superior, I don't know. I don't really agree with that one, but a lot of times we get it's like a trend these days. Oh, racist, right? This person's racist. This person's racist. It's like a trend, or like a buzzword these days. And there's nothing wrong, man. Shout out to the white power, the black power, the brown power, you know what I'm saying? And I do believe that, like, I'm like totally for freedom of speech. I said this before, but the KKK should have like their own channel on Spotify if they want. Words, it's whatever. Now, if you go into acting on certain things, that's where we draw the line. But like, there should be like a free hate speech, and I don't know. I just feel like people should be allowed to voice their opinions, and if you want to hang out with just your own kind, I mean, that's totally cool. I'd rather somebody, tell me up front, yeah, I don't fuck with you. right? Than to be my friend or pretend to be my friend, and then they're talking smack behind your back or something like that. So I have no problem with like people being prideful, um, um, in their country, nationality, what have you. If anything, we need more of that. I would like just a little bit more national pride in general. We have a whole damn month for the actual pride people. We only celebrate America one day. I think it should be taught in schools a little more, like, yo, that one nation under God shit, like for real. Like, we do need some more unity. But I heard a lot of people say, like, should we bring segregation back, or, things of this nature? I think it should be a choice. Like, I swear to you, man, if I woke up tomorrow and they pass some law and it says like, oh no, this is a whites only grocery store, I wouldn't give a damn. I'd be like, cool. Then again, can I go in there? Do you have to be 100%? You know what I mean? Could I, the half can't get me in? I can't just go get a candy bar and dip out. You know what I mean? I would be cool with that if there was a, black, so they have black colleges and stuff like that. Of course, white people can go to the colleges, but if they did bring back segregation, the sad thing is, I mean, I have to go with my black side. I have to go with the brown, whatever it is. Just based off me, how I feel when I look in the mirror, how I've been treated in this country, I'm going to go with the melanin, baby. If I have to completely choose, right? And, but I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I do. It's annoying because a lot of the girls, they don't sleep outside the race, but I do admire the fact, like, say, like Indians or Persians, like hardcore Chinese or whatever. It's like they might marry a white guy, and then, but really they just stay with their own, marry their own. I do respect that a lot. And when I see other black men with black women, I love that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, like get that strong, foundation in. Even though I'm a biracial motherfucker, sometimes I get annoyed. See the black dude with his white girl, and you know what I'm saying? It's like could be some self-hate, whatever. No, I really just be joking, but the stereotypes do be true. Like I seen a black dude the other day at the park, right? Now I get a problem with like fidelity and monogamy and stuff, whatever, right? That's just because I'm just got a lot of lust in me and stuff. But I seen this black dude was like, his chick was tore up, man. She was a big old booger bear white woman. She had like a fat ass, like not even a nice ass. She was just fat, like her ass was like fat, hips wide, wobbling. And I don't know, man. Kudos to him, but I'm over there looking like I couldn't do that. I couldn't get with that. And then just be happy. You know what I mean? And I remember, so I purposely, and not even purposely, like I'll sleep with any race. But when it comes to procreation, like I never wanted a kid lighter than me. Sounds crazy because you got people out here sitting on Vlad's couch and stuff talking about, I don't want to bring no dark baby into this world, But I was the opposite. Number one, I'm attracted to black women and Latinas, 1 and 2, 2 and 1. Either way, like I always knew when I have a child, I'd have it with a black woman or a Latina woman of some sort. Um, but that's me, you know. There's only one white woman I would procreate with. Oh, but you know, that's not gonna happen. But and I'm not gonna say that I wouldn't. It's nothing against, uh, you know, the actual white woman herself. It's just my taste, what I like, what I deem to be sexy and attractive is brown skin. Browner the better. And the white types of white women that I do like are like brunettes usually, or just like those dark, like Italians or some Hungarian broad or something like that. You know what I mean? Romanian. That's my flavor. But I don't know. There's something in me that like I always wanted to love it, like my seed to be darker than I was, and I did that. I achieved that, you know. But I do I kind of understand, you know, if you've had a rough life being in a darker shade, and I don't want to bring my kid, you know, all the profiling and stuff that goes on, but I don't know. But I've always been proud, you know, of my biracialness, even though I swing more to one side than the other. Still a very proud person. And you know, biracial babies are some of the cutest babies. It don't matter what. I mean, you could be Filipino and Samoan. They're gonna come out with the good hair, beautiful olive skin tone. It's incredible. It's just incredible. So, just my 2 cents on the whole thing, right? Now, I don't get upset when people tell me, "Oh, you're not black enough" or whatever. I'm like, that's your opinion. And but when I look at somebody like even say like Barack Obama, right? Oh, first black president. It's kind of disappointing because I want a black ass president like Michael Finley or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know, whether it was born in Hawaii or whatever, half, you know, they still throw him in there in the black race. Tiger Woods, what is he? Is a Koreanness, don't get no mention. He's just the best black. He's a, you know, black golfer. And even these, you know, the Stephs, like I said, Zach LaVine's and Patrick Mahomes with the green eyes, hazel eyes, and stuff like that. They still get, you know, thrown in the black group. And not no brass balls. You know, they still get thrown up in there. But I guess that's just America for you. And as long as we can learn to navigate through the bullshit, everything will be all right. Now, before we get up out of here, I do want to say I don't like white rappers. I don't like white rappers. Not a one. I can't lie. Ritz, and I do like a little bit of Jelly Roll. I like Jelly Roll. A little bit of Ritz and Jelly Roll. It probably and Little White from Hypnotized Minds and the whole 3-6 Mafia camp. Never been a big Eminem fan. I hated him when he first came out. He's lyrical as hell, but I'm sorry, man. Tech 9 is still more lyrical than Marshall Mathers, bro. He slept on. Somebody tried to show me some, what was it, Harry Mack or something the other day. And they played a freestyle. Like, yo, this white dude be freestyling up on Sway or whatever. And I was like, yeah, it's cool, bro. Like, he's got bars, like, no doubt. Little Dicky. I don't like none of those guys, man. It just, and nothing obviously personal. It's just like the cadence and the rhythm that a white rapper comes with is just not like a brother, man. Even there's very few Mexicans too that can like stay on beat, and that's facts. That really is fact. That's why SPM is the fucking GOAT. Free SPM. I don't give a damn. Coming home soon. Mr. Little One. You got some very skilled Chicano rap artists out there, but then there's a lot of them, man. I know a lot of them too that they're flowing, but they have a hard time riding that wave, staying in the pocket, and so just me personally, man, I don't listen to like any white rappers. And then the ones like Harry Mack, I guess, or the what was it? I think is Logic's. Is he a white guy? He got some bars. Logic got some bars. There's some cats out there, but it doesn't hit my brainwaves the same. Like I'll turn that shit off 2 seconds. Like, okay, cool, lyrical, miracle, spiritual, but it just doesn't hit the same. You know what I mean? And again, even the biracial motherfuckers, when you hear them bust, you hear that black in them. You hear their dominant gene, like that's the one firing on all cylinders. You know what I mean? So that's my whole take on white rappers. Now, last thing I will say, no scientific proof or nothing behind this, just another wild theory. But I know I've known a lot. There's one on my basketball team. Shout out to Eddie somewhere. Freshman year, hug high. He was like a loose cannon kind of guy. Because you mix two different bloods, DNAs, and we're already like fucked up in the head. I don't know. Do I go over here? Do I go over here? I think that might play into some sort of brain dysfunction, right? Bipolar, schizo, anxiety, things like this. Potentially, mixing the races and stuff. I don't know the correlation there, but even with my own self growing up, I had a lot of confliction. Always conflicted all the time. Mr. Conflicted, Let's get another beat up in here. And so sometimes I sit back and wonder, like, if I was just raised by 2-parent households of the same race, would I feel this way? Would I have these like doubts and stuff in my head, or would I get mad? Because sometimes you don't even know. I want to stick up for white. Like, if there was a group of black people talking shit about white people, I would say something. I'd be like, "Hey, shut the fuck up." And if there was a group of white people talking about some black people, "Hey, shut the fuck up." Right? So you don't know which way to go sometimes, or your heart's telling you, I don't know, I just feel like I feel this way, and your brain's telling you something else. So it could be a little trickiness there, and that's why I do admire people who just stay in the same race too, man. You're an Indian woman. Why would you want any other type of man besides an Indian man? I get it. As for me and for us mulattoes, we got the world is our, the world is our playground. Because I'm mixed, so I can go get me a Mexican broad. I can date me a little Asian girl. I can give it a black woman. Give it a white girl. A Puerto Rican mommy. So that's the cool thing about being a mixed cat as well. Is that we ain't gotta. And then a lot of the girls, they like that. Maybe they don't want a brother too dark, or they don't want a straight up white boy. But I'm like in the middle. I'm, cool enough, swaggy enough, but maybe, I'm in that in between. But if you want like a hood dude or some thug ass motherfucker, I'm not that guy. If you want some square, button up, I'm not that guy either. So we kind of sit in the middle and pick our poison. I do want to do a follow-up to this conversation. One of these weeks when I can get my brother on here and maybe get a little panel and have like a little race discussion and stuff. I think that'd be really cool. Get some other perspectives and whatnot. Hey, shout out Laura Green up on Podbean. How you doing? Thanks for tapping in. My son and daughter are both mixed. Okay. Oh, that's awesome. Mixed black? You like the brothers? Or what? Thank you for tapping in. So that was my rant there tonight. A little bit of a late start. Like I said, I had my son's basketball game. It was 7-8. I thought about not going. I mean, of course, but I would never do that. I'm going to his game. So we had to do the show late start. Got to get up in here and work in a couple hours. So we're actually going to cut the show. It's been a 60-minute show, like I said. 109 weeks in a row. Still up in the place. Trying to grow the channel. Trying to do things, man. I wish there was more hours in a day. But staying consistent, staying strong. Thank you to everybody who has listened. If you're listening now or in the future, this Saturday and Sunday, if you're in the car or if you're at home, man, put on www.djyfm.com. You can check us out there every Saturday, Sunday night, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific. Also, Harris to Drink It Again Pubcast is on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, Audible. It's everywhere. Thank you so much. I'm going to cut this one short. A good rant, a good hour rant. I got a little bit of stuff out of my system. Shout out to Beeline on the tap in. And we will see y'all next week for episode 110. You never know what you're going to get over here at the Haida Pub. Harry's drinking again. But you always get consistency and a few little topics that might make you think, cringe, whatever. That's how we doing it over here, baby. Therapy Night Rants. This has been my therapy as a mulatto brother. Shout out to everyone, though, man. Human race, stand strong. Everybody be safe this week. And we'll see y'all next Thursday, 8 p.m. Peace and love. We out. Harry's drinking again.